Welcome to another episode of Plant Life Moments. I'm Casey Bell, your host. Let's get started. It's time for veganly cooking, or should I say veganly baking. Today we're making a sweet potato pumpkin pie. That's right, the two holiday pies that people argue over which one is better. I put them in one. So you're going to need pie crust. You're going to need a small pumpkin. I'm not sure how many sweet potatoes because I purchased mine pre-cut, but you can buy a bag of pre-cut sweet potatoes, or sometimes they come in a like a plastic box. And then for your seasoning, you're going to need half a lemon. You're going to need vanilla extract. I use all natural, but if you choose to use imitation, that's your business. You're going to need cinnamon, nutmeg, and maple syrup. I have the dark grade. So it's very simple. You boil your potatoes and your pumpkin separately because potatoes take longer. Once they are soft, you are going to put them in a bowl with your seasoning. So you're looking at a teaspoon of lemon, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, a teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of nutmeg, and you're going to use basically almost the whole bottle of syrup. Basically, you're going to want to taste it for yourself to see whether or not it's sweet enough, and if it's not, you add more syrup. Once everything is in the bowl, you simply mash it until it is in a form of like a batter. Once it is in the form of a batter, you put it in your pie crust. You bake it 450 for 30 minutes, then you turn it down to 375 for 15 minutes, and then you take it out and let it sit for 10 minutes. Obviously, you're going to want to check your pies because different ovens have different cooked differently depending on the age of the oven. So make sure you check it, make sure it's not burning. And then once it comes out, you just wait 10 minutes for it to cool down, and it tastes wonderful. That is the sweet potato pumpkin pie. Obviously, you can try different versions of it. You can add different ingredients. That is the way I made it. And that has been your veganly cooking moment, or should I say veganly baking. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this message with Vashion, a new moment. That's vegan fashion. The stunning debut book by nutrition and wellness expert Tricia Silverman. Want to lose weight, gain energy, increase productivity, and live a longer, healthier life? As an expert in nutrition, wellness coaching, and fitness, Tricia Silverman shares countless tips in this book. These tips are investments that yield the results or wellness dividends you desire. For more information, go to triciasilverman.com. That's triciasilverman.com. It's time for the Vashion Moment. That's vegan fashion. Hi, and welcome to Vashion Moment. Today's Vashion Moment is Cariuma. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. They are shoes. They are lightweight, 100% vegan, and they are machine washable. Let's take a look at this brand. Well, that is all for Vashion Moment. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this message. Are you a guest looking for a host to interview you? Or are you a host looking for guests to interview? Radio Guest List is the website for you. It's a free listing of guests looking for shows to interview them, as well as a free listing of shows looking for guests. Whether you're looking for a guest to interview or shows to interview you, go to radioguestlist.com. This is your Healthnut Moment. It is time for Healthnut Moment. Today's Healthnut Moment comes from Tricia Silverman. Tricia, take it away.
Hi, I'm Tricia Silverman, a registered dietitian, fitness instructor, and wellness coach, and author of Healthy Dividends, Investments in Nutrition, Movement, and Healthy Habits That Pay Off. Today I'd like to chat with you about vegan treats. The first one that I have here are these vegan chips. And you can probably hear them. You can hear that crinkly package. Well, that's usually an indication that you're not probably getting real whole, full, intact vegetables in there. When we look at the list, first two ingredients, potato starch and dehydrated potato. So it's really just a glorified potato chip, but where are the other veggies? Well, I see spinach powder and tomato powder a little later down the list. And powders are never better than the whole, intact, fresh vegetable. So eat your fresh vegetables. If you're in the mood for something crunchy and salty, there's a better product out there that you might want to think about. These are crunchy chickpeas. And crunchy chickpeas, what I really like about those are that in here you get 18% fiber compared to in here you're only getting in the veggie sticks you're getting 3% fiber. So this is going to have more fiber in here for you. Plus beans are a food of longevity, chock full of great nutrients like copper and zinc, and of course the fiber and folate, all great things for you. And in the veggie sticks, you're not really getting much in there. Now, let's talk about some other items that I have here today to share with you. So these are vegan brownies. And in the vegan brownie, there is quite a bit of sugar. So on the label, it says 25 grams. And you can see here that it's a whole plate of sugar, that if we put that item on there, you can see, wow, it's quite a bit of sugar, and it fills up just about half of that plate. When we look at the label in here, it says wheat flour. We want it to be a whole grain. When it just says wheat flour or enriched flour, it's not a whole grain. You want to look for the key word whole, and whole indicates that it's from a whole grain. So with this, besides the sugar and the fact that it's not a whole grain, we're really not getting a lot of nutrients in there. Now, if you want a whole grain treat, then you might want some popcorn. Well, when we look at one of the popular brands of popcorn, there are 3 ingredients, and one of them is sunflower oil. And when you look in the veggie chips that I had here as well, in those you see sunflower seed and or expeller pressed safflower seed oil. Well, you want your oils to be expeller pressed, and in those veggie chips the sunflower seed oil was not. So we do want to get expeller pressed. That means it's from the mechanical means were used to press out the oils, and chemicals weren't used, and solvents like hexane and acetone. Hexane is in gasoline and jet fuel, and companies use that in the processing of oils to get out the oil a little more easily than when they have to get them out mechanically. So we do want them to get it out mechanically. Extra virgin olive oil is something also to look for in an oil, because that indicates that these solvents weren't used. So expeller pressed, organic, or extra virgin when we're looking for oils. Now let's move along and talk about a dairy vegan treat. This is one of the newer ones that's out there, and it is, it's a non-dairy treat, and this is vegan. And in this one has a whole long list of ingredients. Now, one of the first ingredients that's up there, liquid sugar, corn syrup solids. There's a whole lot of sugar in here, and you're going to be shocked when you see exactly how much. So when we look at the whole product in that pint, 87 grams of sugar, and when we turn it into teaspoons, I have that right here, I measured it out for you. Let's look at that in terms of teaspoons. In that pint, now hold up the pint right next to you, quite a bit of sugar there. Isn't that pretty shocking? So we want to be careful, even though it says non-dairy and we might think it's a better choice than ice cream, it's pretty comparable when we look at the sugar in there, so a whole lot of sugar. And then there's other ingredients that aren't so savory. There's oil, like soybean oil, and we don't know again how that oil was processed. And then there's sunflower lecithin, and that's an emulsifier. We also don't know how that was processed. And that could have been using the same hexane or acetone that, again, is used to process oils, that when oils don't say the extra virgin or organic or expel or press. So just a few tips for you out there. A better option for some ice cream would be to actually make your own, what I call nice cream. And what I do that is I take almond milk or whatever type of milk you're using, and you see I have almond butter there, I have cacao powder, I have a banana, and then frozen cherries. And you can put that in a blender, and very simple ingredients, no additives, preservatives, no oils, and except you get the almond butter there with some natural oil, and it's just truly delicious. So thank you so much, and I wish you the best and hope to share more with you.
Well, that's all for this episode of Plant Life Moments. I want to thank my guest, Tricia Silverman, for joining me on today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe. Have yourself a great and veganly day.